Hey everyone, before I start this review, I just want you to know that I now have a podcast on Spotify, so go check it out. Now, anyways, Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, the sequel to the live action Scooby Doo movie from 2002, which, of course, this came out 2 years after the original. I guess the same way as Garfield 2 did. But sadly, this movie didn't make as much money as the first one. I guess usually with movie sequels, they don't make as much money as the original. The only exceptions are, Alvin the Chipmunks and Transformers and, Ice Age and the Pirates movies. But we're not talking about those franchises. No. This is Wantober. We're doing Halloween-related reviews, and this is what we're going to review. Now, I may remember watching this years ago, and I've re-watched it yesterday. And I gotta say, it actually felt great watching this again. Because it's got everything that, even includes, the monsters from, the Scooby Doo cartoons. Which actually proves that, they didn't forget about Scooby's past. They include tons of monsters in here, like, ones I can name, like, Captain Cutler's ghost, and, the 10,000 volt ghost. And, of course, a few others to name. Even, of course, my favorite scene, the cotton candy glob. It's actually kind of funny, Shaggy and Scooby, are actually afraid of, regular monsters, but, the only monster they're not afraid of is a giant blob of cotton candy. Oh, I meant glob, not blob, glob. But I gotta say, the effects they use are actually good, they actually use CGI in this, and they also used a couple of practical effects as well. I actually still miss, when movies used practical effects, and of course puppetry as well. They need to start using more of that as well. Combine both puppetry and CGI. Please do that. There's also a few scenes that really crack me up. And of course, fart scenes as well. But unlike, films today, at least they know how to use a fart joke correctly, at least. Unlike most modern films. I also do kind of admit, kind of like the first film, it also has crude humor as well. Again, this is from, a decade that made, that had movies like Shrek and a few others. Would I recommend it? Well, yes, but once again, if you're not a fan of, the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, this isn't for you. I mean, if you're not a fan of this, if you don't like it, that's okay. Opinions are opinions. I'll respect yours as long as you respect mine. I mean, what else could I say? I'll give this a 9 out of 10. And before I end this, like I said, I now have a podcast that's on Spotify. I'm almost getting close to, I'm going to do one tonight, maybe. So if you're not checked out my new podcast on Spotify yet, go check it out. Only if you have a Spotify account. Now, anyways, now that we're finished with, Scooby Doo, we're now going to get to another adaptation. So we now move on from, an adaptation based on the works of Hanna-Barbera. And now move on to, reviewing a live-action adaptation of a book by R.L. Stine.